I would love to know how your upbringing influenced who you became, Shannon.
Wow, we could probably take the whole podcast on that. I think I was very fortunate to have two parents who both said that I could do anything that I wanted to do, and pushed me to work hard, pushed me to really push myself. And I think my father in particular was somebody who really challenged me to push the boundaries of what I thought was comfortable and what I thought I could do. And I think that that really ended up forming me significantly. I grew up in Anchorage, Alaska. I always like to say that, that in Alaska, things, life is a little bit tougher for sure. And although I grew up in what is considered the city in Alaska, but you don't drive anywhere in the winter without a candle and some warm boots in the back of the car, because if you go off the road, you need to take care of yourself. There's definitely a strong ethos of being able to take care of yourself, being able to hold your own. And in terms of the gender differences, there aren't as many. It didn't seem to me, at least growing up. But there's a joke that there's a bumper sticker in Alaska that says, "Alaska, where men are men and women win the Iditarod," of course, referring to that 1,000-mile dog sled race. Which
Yes.
has happened, several times. So I think that all of that, both the combination of both of my parents, as well as that environment, were really very formational for me.
Yeah. So, Shannon, did that environment by itself make you a strong, resilient person, or was it your dad exposing you to different things?
It was both, for sure. I think it was, the environment, there's a lot of ways to respond to an environment. There's a lot of ways to respond to exposure or to pressure. I always tell this story of being on the soccer field, and, this is nothing like the soccer that people play today, where there's these really hyper competitive leagues. This was just girls club soccer. And I think 10 years old, and I was a fullback, and there was a girl on one of the other teams who was offense, and she ended up being on the national ski team. She was a really tough cookie, and she'd come charging down my side of the field, and or charging down any side of the field, and we would all just part like the Red Sea, and she would score on goal every time. And I remember my dad at the end of one game coming up to me and, putting his arm around me and being very encouraging and saying, "Why don't you just charge back at her?" And I just looked at him like he was crazy. And the next game, she came charging down my side of the field, and I went charging back at her, and neither one of us stopped, and we collided midfield. And, even the soccer were silent, which never happens. And she never charged my side of the field again after that. So I feel like that was this very formational lesson. I could tell you so many of these like this, but where he really pushed me to push myself past the point of comfort. And you start to realize that, you get up every time you fall down, and you get up stronger each time.